Welcome to 100 Yards of Football. If you like the video today, please come in and share it. We'll surely appreciate it here on 100 Yards of Football. Special thanks to my producer, Mr. Jeremiah Long, for making it happen for me this morning here on 100 Yards of Football. I'm your host, Vincent Turner. And today, our 2024 NFL Draft Prospect video is Mohamed Kamara, defensive end out of Colorado State. So if you like the video, please come in and share it. Tell you a little story about this young man. Never heard of him coming into the college football season because I'm down here in the SEC country, because I'm broadcasting live here along with my producer, Mr. Jeremiah Long, and we here in the metro Atlanta area. But I'm going to tell you, this young man caught my eye when Colorado State played Colorado on that Saturday night ESPN game after dark. And the one thing I looked at this young man, I said, you know what? This gentleman right here is a football player. And when it was all said and done, even though Deion Sanders and the Colorado Buffaloes won that football game, I came away thinking that he might have been the best football player on the field that night, pound for pound. I think he had 3 sacks in that football game on baby Shedeur Sanders, the quarterback at the University of Colorado. But this gentleman right here is a very, very serious football player. I'll go back and I look at Mr. Kamara's career at Colorado State. And I look at him as a gentleman. Think about these statures. He's 6'2", 252 pounds. Defensive end, a little bit undersized. But when you look at all the great DNs that's played in the National Football League, then you start thinking this gentleman could probably be on that same level. Because one thing about me here at 100 Yards of Football, I go on production. And I go look at Mr. Kamara, career stats at Colorado State. 78 quarterback hurries in his career, 53 quarterback hits, 141 quarterback pressures. That's telling me that he's a very good football player that's always in the quarterback's face. And he's a guy that's got a lot of effort and hustle to his game. Then I look at his career stats from 179 tackles in his career, 45.5 tackles for loss, and then 29.5 sacks. That's a football player that when you bring the count, you ain't got to worry about too much outside injuries, because this gentleman is going to bring his lunch pail every day. But let me talk about his skill set a little bit here. As I mentioned, he's got a classic frame to be a guy that can rush the pass in the National Football League. 6'1", 255 pounds. He's got violent hands as an edge rusher, defensive end, A+. Very nimble feet as a defensive end, A+. Good quickness off the line of scrimmage, A+. Outstanding strength as a DN. I heard the young man's a 450-pound bench press guy. And as I just mentioned, his mortar, effort, no oil changes for months with Mohamed Kamara, DN out of Colorado State. Then he's got good speed from sideline to close. Go back and look at the Colorado game and how he was chasing Shedeur Sanders sideline to sideline in that football game. Plays very well, as I said, with production. You saw the stats I just stated. This young man, when he's on the football field, you better believe he's going to be bringing some stats. He's going to be in that backfield, and he's going to cause havoc. And another thing, and the most important thing I love about him, he was a team captain for 2 years at Colorado State. When you look at this gentleman, he's got a lot of good qualities you like about as a football player. And the most important thing I just mentioned, I'm going to mention over and over again about him, he's very consistent with his production. And when you look at all the great football players his size that's had great success in the National Football League, Elvis Dumerfield out of Louisville. Dwight Freeney just got voted to the Hall of Fame out of Syracuse University. He reminds me a little bit of the young man that played with the Denver Broncos and the New York Giants. You might not heard of him, but he's an outstanding football player at LSU that can rush the passer from the linebacker position, Michael Brooks. Then he's got a little bit of Von Miller, Texas A&M. I don't have to say no more. Then he's got a little bit of a homeboy from my hometown out of Milton, Tennessee, that played with the Ole Miss Rebels. They had a decent NFL career, mean as hell, Mr. Greg Hardy. And then finally, He's got a little bit of Brandon Graham that went to the University of Michigan, that's had a great career with the Philadelphia Eagles. And before I end the video today, don't nobody get excited. Don't nobody think that I'm saying this for click value. But when you look at Mr. Kamara, go back and look at his game film. He had 29.5 career sacks, and he had 45.5 tackles for loss. I'm going to tell you this before I end the day here on 100 Yards of Football. Special thanks to my producer today, the talented Mr. Jeremiah Long. Mr. Kamara, it's got a little bit of LT, Lawrence Taylor, rushing their passer. Y'all be blessed here on 100 Yards of Football.